90% of car owners have no idea these WD-40 car hacks actually work. But here's the twist. Just one WD-40 hack could save you thousands in repair shops. Most likely, you've been ignoring these WD-40 hacks your entire life. So stop spending another $1 at the mechanic. Here's 17 genius WD-40 car hacks that will save you thousands. Do not skip this. You'll save serious money. Let's dive in with Trick 17, Wet Ignition Emergency Restart. You turn the key and the engine just coughs. No start, no spark, just frustration building in your chest. Here's what to do. Pop the hood and grab your WD-40. Spray directly on the ignition coils, plug boots, and distributor if you have one. The formula forces out moisture and coats the surface so current flows properly again. Wait about a minute, then start the car. It'll roar back to life like nothing ever happened. Pro tip, make this part of your monthly routine if you live near the coast or drive through rain often. This next one will save you hundreds at the detail shop. Trick 16, Cloudy Headlight Quick Fix. You've probably noticed it creeping up on you. Your headlights look foggy, dull, and yellowed, like they've been sandblasted by a decade of highway abuse. It's not dirt you can just wash off. It's oxidation slowly eating away at the plastic lens from the outside in. That haze doesn't just ruin the look of your car and make it appear 10 years older than it is. It weakens your night visibility by nearly half and makes you a target for oncoming glare that blinds other drivers. Here's a faster fix that actually works when you're in a pinch and need results now. Wash the headlights with soap and water, then dry them completely. Spray a light mist of WD-40 over the lens and wipe it in with a clean microfiber cloth using circular motions. Within seconds, the clarity comes roaring back like magic. The formula breaks down surface oxidation and adds a slick, water-repelling layer that helps light shine through like new again. It's not forever. The haze will return in a few days or weeks. But it's perfect before a road trip, a safety inspection, or when you're trying to sell your car and need it looking sharp for photos. Oxidation attacks plastic. This next one saves you from mechanic visit. Trick 15, Seized Bolt Penetrating Formula. Nothing ruins a simple repair faster than a bolt that refuses to budge. You twist harder, the wrench slips, your knuckles meet sharp metal, and suddenly you're one bad move away from snapping the head clean off. Rust locks metal together like industrial-grade concrete, and once it sets in, brute force only guarantees broken fasteners and a repair that just got way more expensive. Here's the fix that separates pros from amateurs. Spray WD-40 directly on the rusted bolt or spark plug base and let it sit for at least 10 minutes. For badly seized bolts, give it 30 and walk away. The formula seeps deep into the threads, breaking up rust and corrosion from the inside out at a molecular level. Then, instead of forcing it like a caveman, give the bolt a few light taps with a wrench or hammer. Try again and you'll feel it start to move with surprising ease. Fighting rust is good, but preventing it is even better. Trick 14, Exposed Metal Rust Shield. Rust doesn't wait for an invitation or send you a courtesy warning. It starts the second bare metal meets moisture, and once it spreads, it eats through everything from suspension bolts to body panels like a slow-motion plague. You might not notice it at first, just a tiny orange spot here and there, but give it a few rainy days or one salty road trip, and suddenly your undercarriage looks like it's been soaking in seawater for a decade. Spray a thin coat of WD-40 on any exposed metal you can reach. Door hinges, suspension arms, wheel wells, frame rails, or even tool surfaces in your garage. It forms a protective barrier that blocks out water, salt, and oxygen, the unholy trinity that rust needs to survive and multiply. For parts under your car, reapply every few months, especially before winter when road salt turns highways into corrosion factories. Metal isn't the only thing under attack. Your wiring faces a silent killer too. Trick 13, Electrical Connection Corrosion Blocker. Your car's electrical system is like its nervous system. One bad connection, one corroded pin, and everything goes haywire in ways that'll make you question reality. Moisture, salt, and dirt creep into plugs and sensors, corroding the metal pins inside until your dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree with random warning codes. Or worse, your engine starts acting up for no clear reason, misfiring, hesitating, refusing to start, and mechanics can't figure out why because the problem's intermittent. Here's how to stop it before it starts eating your wallet. Whenever you unplug a connector, whether it's for headlights, oxygen sensors, or ignition coils, give it a short spray of WD-40. It drives out trapped moisture and leaves behind a thin film that blocks future corrosion from forming. Do the same for battery terminals, fuse box connectors, and trailer plugs if you tow anything. For long-term protection, follow up with dielectric grease on the actual contact points. This next one will save you a lot of money at lock repair. Trick 12, frozen lock liberation method. It's freezing outside. You're running late for work, and your car door won't open. You twist the key harder, pull the handle with everything you've got. Nothing. That's ice locking up the latch or cylinder, and forcing it can snap your key clean in half or jam the mechanism permanently. Don't pour hot water on it either. That temporarily melts the ice, sure, but when it refreezes minutes later, you're in worse shape than before. Here's the smarter move that actually works. Spray WD-40 directly into the keyhole, around the latch, or along the hinge area where ice builds up. It cuts through the ice, melts the buildup, and drives out moisture hiding deep inside the mechanism. Give it a few seconds to penetrate, then try your key again or pull the handle. It should move freely without a fight or the sickening snap of breaking metal. But frozen locks are nothing compared to this next trick. Trick 11, paint sap and tar dissolver. Nothing ruins a clean car faster than sticky sap dripping from trees, baked on tar clinging to your rocker panels, or road grime that sticks like industrial strength glue. You try to scrub it off with a sponge, and all you do is spread it around and scratch your clear coat. Pull out a razor blade thinking you're clever. Congratulations, you just carved a permanent scar into your paint. It'll cost $300 to wet sand and buff out properly. Here's the pro detailer move that keeps paint intact. Spray WD-40 directly on the sticky spot, whether it's tree sap on your hood, tar splattered along your sides, or mystery gunk from highway construction zones. Let it sit for about a minute so the formula can soften the residue and break the bond between the grime and your paint. Then wipe it off with a clean microfiber cloth using gentle pressure. For tougher spots, repeat the process and use a circular motion. When you're done, wash the area with soap and water to remove any leftover oily film. Clean paint looks sharp, but those faded stickers scream neglect. Trick 10, adhesive residue eliminator. Peeling off old stickers feels satisfying for about 2 seconds, until you're left with that ugly sticky mess that refuses to budge no matter what you try. Whether it's a faded bumper sticker from a vacation you took in 2015, an expired parking permit, or a dealer decal that's overstayed its welcome by 5 years, scraping it off only makes things infinitely worse. Here's the smarter way that actually works. Spray WD-40 directly on the sticker or adhesive residue and let it sit for about a minute. The formula seeps into the adhesive, softening it from underneath and breaking the molecular bonds. Then peel gently from one corner using your fingers or a plastic scraper. Never metal unless you hate your paint. For stubborn spots, spray again and wipe with a microfiber cloth in small circles. Once it's completely off, wash the area with warm soapy water to remove any oily film left behind. Details matter, and rusty screws tell the wrong story about your car. If you've learned something valuable so far, hit that like button. This took a lot of research. Each like helps us expose more mechanic secrets. Thank you. Let's keep going. Trick 9, license plate rust eraser. Rusty license plate screws and stained edges can make even a freshly detailed car look neglected and cheap. Over time, rain, road salt, and humidity eat away at the metal, leaving behind orange rust stains that spread across the plate and bleed onto your bumper paint. Ignore it long enough, and those tiny screws can seize completely, snapping off the next time you try to remove them for registration renewal or a plate swap. Here's how to fix it fast before it becomes a drilling nightmare. Spray WD-40 directly on the screws and along the edges of the plate where rust has taken hold. Let it sit for a few minutes to loosen the corrosion and penetrate the threads. Then use a soft brush or an old toothbrush to scrub away the residue with circular motions. Wipe everything clean with a microfiber cloth, and your plate will shine like it just came from the DMV. Before reinstalling the screws, give them another light coat of WD-40 to protect them from future corrosion. It'll make removal easy next time and prevent rust from spreading. Squeaky hinges are next, and they're worse than you think. Trick 8, door hinge squeak silencer. That squeak every time you open your car door isn't just harmless or mildly annoying. It's metal grinding directly on metal, and over time, that friction wears down hinge pins and can even make the door sag out of alignment like a broken jaw. Most people ignore it until it's too late, And suddenly the fix turns into a body shop bill that runs $300 to $600 for hinge replacement and door realignment. Here's the simple way to silence it before it gets expensive. Spray WD-40 directly onto the hinge joints, hitting both the top and bottom hinges. Then swing the door open and closed several times to work the lubricant deep into the mechanism where metal meets metal. Wipe away any extra drips with a rag so you're not leaving oil spots on your garage floor. For stubborn squeaks that come back after a day, give it a second light spray the next morning and let it soak overnight. The formula doesn't just quiet the noise temporarily. It cleans out embedded dirt and rust while leaving a protective layer that keeps the hinge moving smoothly for months. Your fuel door latch faces the same problem, just more expensive. Trick 7. Fuel door latch liberator. You press the fuel door button and absolutely nothing happens. You tug it open by hand and it feels like it's welded shut. Sound painfully familiar? That's because fuel door hinges and latches collect dirt, rust and moisture constantly from road spray and weather exposure. When that buildup hardens over time, the latch sticks, and in some cases, the spring mechanism won't release at all. You end up prying it open with a screwdriver, bending the hinge, or breaking the latch completely, which means a trip to the dealer for a $150 replacement part. Here's how to keep it working like new without drama. Open the fuel door manually and spray a small amount of WD-40 on the hinge, latch mechanism, and spring assembly. Let it sit for a few seconds to penetrate. Then open and close the door several times to work the lubricant into every moving part. Wipe away any extra residue with a cloth so it doesn't attract more dirt. The formula breaks up grime, frees frozen movement, and leaves a protective layer that prevents rust from forming again. Do this simple maintenance every few months, especially before rainy or winter seasons when moisture attacks the hardest. Window tracks need the same attention, or your motor dies early. Trick 6. Window track friction eliminator. When your power windows start dragging, squeaking, or moving slower than a sloth on sedatives, it's easy to blame the motor and start mentally preparing for a $300 repair bill. But in most cases, the real problem is right there in the tracks, where you can actually see it. Dirt, dust, and dried up grease build up inside those narrow rubber channels over months and years, forcing the glass to fight its way up and down with every press of the button. That strain doesn't just sound bad and annoy everyone in the car. It burns out window motors over time, and replacing one costs $200 to $400 per window depending on your vehicle. Here's the fix that takes 2 minutes. Roll the window all the way down and spray a light coat of WD-40 along the inner tracks on both sides, just enough to loosen grime without soaking the rubber seals. Then roll the window up and down a few times to spread it evenly throughout the channel. The movement will feel smoother instantly, like your window just got a spa treatment. For long-term care and prevention, finish with a silicone spray designed for rubber to keep the seals soft and prevent future sticking. Do this every few months, especially if you live in a dusty area or somewhere with heavy rain that leaves residue. Wiper blades suffer the same fate from heat and grime. Trick 5. Wiper blade reconditioning treatment. You hit the wipers and instead of a clean sweep, you get streaks, annoying squeaks, and chatter that sounds like nails on a chalkboard. That's not just irritating to your ears. It's legitimately dangerous when rain or headlight glare hits and you can't see the road ahead clearly. Over time, heat, brutal UV rays, and road dirt dry out the rubber, making it stiff, uneven, and useless. Most people just replace their blades right away and spend $30 to $60, but you can often bring them back to life in literal seconds with this trick. Here's how it works. Lift the wipers off the windshield and clean them first with a damp cloth to remove surface dirt and grit that's embedded in the rubber. Then spray a bit of WD-40 onto a soft cloth, not directly on the blade, and wipe it along the rubber edge from end to end in smooth strokes. The formula reconditions the blade, restores flexibility to dried rubber, and removes the oily film that causes those ugly streaks across your glass. Once you're done, wipe the windshield clean with glass cleaner to remove any residue left behind. You'll notice quieter, smoother sweeps right away, like you installed brand new blades. Do this every few weeks, especially in hot summer months or freezing winter weather when rubber takes the most abuse. And here's what most people don't realize. Damaged wiper blades don't just hurt visibility, they actually scratch your windshield over time, causing permanent damage that can cost hundreds to repair or even require full windshield replacement. Your dashboard plastics need saving too. Trick 4. Dashboard plastic restoration formula. A dusty, faded dashboard can make even a spotlessly clean car look tired, old, and neglected. Over time, sunlight, extreme heat, and skin oils cause plastics to fade, crack, and attract dust like they're coated in static electricity. Many drivers reach for harsh chemical cleaners that leave a greasy shine, a slippery surface, or a strong smell that gives you an instant headache. But there's a smarter, faster way that actually works and doesn't smell like a chemical factory. Spray a small amount of WD-40 onto a microfiber cloth. Never spray directly on the dash, unless you want overspray all over your windshield. Wipe across the dashboard, door panels, and center console in gentle, even strokes. It cuts through grime, fingerprints, and old protectant buildup in seconds flat. The result is a smooth satin finish that looks fresh and new without feeling slippery or greasy under your fingers. Plus, it leaves behind a thin, anti-static layer that helps repel dust for weeks instead of hours, keeping your interior cleaner longer. For textured areas, tight vents, or small crevices, use a soft brush or cotton swab to lift dirt from those spots before wiping clean. What's even better is that this method costs pennies compared to those expensive dashboard revival products that charge $15 to $20 a bottle and barely last through 3 applications. If you love quick fixes like this, hit the like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more easy car care tips. Trick 3. Interior Sticky Residue Destroyer. Nothing tests your patience quite like finding gum mashed deep into the carpet or melted crayon smeared across the back seat like abstract art. Kids, snacks, and summer heat are the perfect recipe for a sticky mess that seems physically impossible to clean without professional help. Scraping only spreads it around and makes it worse, and most household cleaners barely make a dent in wax or sugar-based gunk. Here's how to handle it like a professional detailer without losing your mind. Spray a small amount of WD-40 directly on the affected spot and let it sit for about a minute. The formula breaks down waxes, sugars, and adhesives at the base, dissolving the bonds that make them stick. Then use a plastic scraper or a soft cloth to lift the residue gently without tearing fabric or scratching vinyl. For fabric seats or carpets, blot carefully instead of rubbing to avoid pushing the mess deeper into the fibers where it'll live forever. Once it's completely gone, wipe the area with a damp cloth and mild soap to remove any leftover oily film. It works like absolute magic on vinyl, leather, cloth upholstery, and even hard plastics without leaving damage, discoloration, or weird stains. The best part is you avoid paying $100 to $200 for professional interior detailing, just to remove a few sticky spots that you can handle yourself in under 5 minutes. Weather seals protect everything, but only if you protect them first. Trick 2. Rubber Seal Flexibility Restorer. Those rubber strips around your doors and trunk do way more than just look pretty. They're your car's first line of defense against leaks, wind noise, road dust, and water intrusion that ruins everything inside. But constant exposure to sun, heat, freezing cold, and road salt makes them dry, brittle, and prone to cracking like old leather. Once they lose flexibility and start splitting, every downpour or car wash becomes an open invitation for water to sneak into your cabin, soaking carpets, destroying electronics, and creating mold problems that make your car smell like a damp basement. Here's how to keep them soft, pliable, and sealing tight for years. Start by wiping the seals clean with a damp cloth to remove surface dirt and road grime. Then spray a bit of WD-40 and run it along the entire rubber seal from end to end. It rejuvenates the surface, prevents cracking and splitting, and leaves behind a moisture-resistant layer that stops doors from freezing shut in winter when temperatures plummet. Do this simple maintenance every few months without fail. It takes less than 5 minutes total for all 4 doors, but it can save you hundreds in water damage repairs, electronic replacements, and cabin leak nightmares later on. And here's the kicker. Replacing damaged door seals at a dealership can cost $150 to $300 per door, but this 5-minute maintenance routine keeps them working perfectly for the entire life of your vehicle. And the #1 money saver? It starts under your hood. Trick 1. Battery Terminal Corrosion Killer. Pop your hood right now and take a good look at your battery terminals. See that crusty white, green, or bluish buildup eating away at the metal? That's not harmless mineral deposits you can ignore. That's corrosion, acidic buildup that slowly strangles your electrical flow like a python. It causes weak starts on cold mornings, dim headlights at night, and can even fry your alternator if left unchecked for too long. Most people ignore it until the car refuses to start completely, but preventing it is fast, easy, and costs almost nothing. Here's what to do before it becomes an expensive problem. Disconnect the battery cables, always negative, first to avoid sparks, then spray WD-40 directly on the terminals and clamps. Let it soak for a minute or two to break down the corrosion at a chemical level. Then scrub gently with a wire brush or an old toothbrush until the metal shines clean. Wipe everything down with a dry rag to remove residue. Reconnect the cables, positive first this time, and finish with a light protective coat of WD-40 over the terminals. That creates a barrier that blocks future buildup from forming. Do this every few months without fail, especially before long road trips or harsh winter weather when electrical systems get tested the hardest. It keeps your battery running strong, your electrical system flowing clean, and your starter cranking like it should every single time. And here's what really drives the point home. Ignoring battery terminal corrosion is the #1 preventable cause of no-start situations that leave drivers stranded and facing tow truck bills of $100 to $300, when a 5-minute cleaning could have avoided the entire nightmare. WD-40 can save you thousands, but it's not the only secret mechanic kept locked away. Some household items can also be used for car cleaning, and car detailers don't share these with you. Don't miss what's next. It could save you even more money and add years to your car's life. Watch it wisely and watch your repair bills disappear.